Welcome to Futures Microlearning, brought to you by the Business and Employability team at Norwich University of the Arts. These short, focused sessions are designed to give you practical tools, tips, and insights to support your creative career. A contract is a legal agreement between two people or groups. It is the best way to make sure you are treated fairly as a freelancer. Writing a contract. Legal language can feel confusing, and when you are just starting out, making formal agreements with clients might seem like too much. But contracts are very important. They help protect you, your work, and your clients. Contracts can come from you or your client, but they should be tailored to you and your needs. Please note that these are just suggestions, and you should consider getting legal advice when writing your contract, especially when the scale or value of your work grows. Here are a few of the most common mistakes people make. Number 1. Not reading the contract carefully. Freelancers sometimes skim contracts or feel pressured to sign quickly without understanding all the terms. Remember, it's fine to ask about things you don't understand and to negotiate changes to create an agreement that is fair and works for all parties. Number 2. Not using a contract at all. Many freelancers rely on verbal agreements, which can make it harder to resolve issues later. The contract doesn't need to be long. Even one page or a clear email can be enough. Number 3. Leaving out important details. Like, how many revisions are included? Who owns the final work? When payments are due? Or what happens if either party cancels?
Hi, my name's Bev and I'm a Norwich University of the Arts alumni. I studied BA in Games, graduated 2007, and an MA Moving Image and Sound in 2013, and I'm a freelance illustrator. So as an illustrator, I have done a lot of commission projects, and having a contract has been very useful. At the beginning, I didn't really feel like I needed one, and I also felt like there'd be a lot of hard work, so I didn't bother. And then I quickly realised that those are the jobs that might go wrong down the line with no fault of your own, and so it's really useful to sort one out. So here are my top tips. So my first tip is to get a good contract and to actually use it. At first I didn't really feel like I needed to do one for a lot of jobs, especially if they're small jobs, but actually they can really help you out down the line, and it's often the jobs that you don't think you're going to need one for that will end up messing up, sometimes not down to you, and the contract will be there to really help you out. I got a template through the Association of Illustrators, and I imagine you can get a template from an association that is relevant to your field. And it's been really simple and easy to use, and I just tailor it to each job. So tip number 2 is to have a cancellation clause. I was booked in to do a mural job a few years ago and called up the day before to make final preparations, and they said that the job had been cancelled. Because it was a company that I'd worked with before, I didn't bother doing a contract with them, and they'd actually paid me up front for the job, so I ended up having to send the money back, which was a bit of a kick. But if I'd had a contract with a cancellation clause, I would have got some of that money back for my time and materials, but I didn't, unfortunately. So similar to tip number 2, tip number 3 is to have a staged payment system. You can have a clause in your contract where you have, for example, you get to the rough stage, and if that's approved, then you'll receive like 20 to 50% of the final payment. I've definitely had jobs where you'll get to a stage quite far down the line and they'd like to go right back to the beginning, but you've already had the rough approved. So as long as you're communicating as you go and everyone knows what to expect, then that shouldn't really happen. it's definitely saved my bacon before.
So, what should the contract include? Number 1. The parties involved. Your name, the business name, and contact details. The client's name and contact details. Where appropriate, include the role of each party. For example, you might be providing a design service, while the client is responsible for giving you content, feedback, or approvals. Number 2. The work and time frame. Include a clear description of the work to be done. Deliverables. What will the client receive? Number of revisions included. Deadlines or timelines for each stage. Number 3. Fees and payment terms. What is the total cost or your hourly/day rate? A payment schedule. For example, will you be paid 50% upfront and 50% on completion? If relevant, what expenses will be reimbursed and when? What are your accepted payment methods? For example, do you prefer bank transfer or PayPal? Late payment terms. For example, are there interest or fees for overdue invoices? Where to submit an invoice and any relevant information for the invoice. For example, is there a purchase order number and will there be references? Number 4. Intellectual property rights. Who owns the final work, you or the client? Will the client get full ownership or a usage license? What is your right to reuse some of the assets or showcase the work in your portfolio? Number 5. Cancellation and termination. What happens if either party cancels the project? Number 6. Signatures and dates. Space for both you and the client to sign and date the agreement. In an email, this would be a response to agree on the terms for the specific person with authority to make these kinds of decisions. Thanks for watching. If you didn't find what you were looking for or need more support, please get in touch with us at careers@norwichuni.ac.uk.